the market is rebounding. We are coming back closer to that $2.5 trillion mark, and Bitcoin is again above $50,000 mark. Ether running up 4,300, and most of the coins are getting a little bit of pump, some of them going about 10%, 15% like that. But the main question here is, do you really think a bear market in Bitcoin is here? And if so, will that bear market in Bitcoin give you a alt season or alt run up? Now, if you ask me that, I would say no. But yes, it depends on what you call as a bear market for Bitcoin. If it's a cycle top, which you're calling as a bear market, which goes into a year or more into the down direction, yes, that's not going to give altcoins a run higher. You look at this one, we topped out Bitcoin here in November 2013, and then 400 days of downside. This is Litecoin chart, because there are not many of the assets which we having this cycle back in 2013. So I chose Litecoin for this one, and you can see 400 days it also went down. Take the next one, December 17. We didn't get an altcoin run up after Bitcoin topped out, right? Some of the coin had like 3-4 days of still continuation, meaning it was already in a run up. It still ran higher, but it didn't start when Bitcoin was going down. So don't get confused with those kind of stuff. When you see Bitcoin consolidating in one range, yes, you do see alt run there. You can take the scenario here, you can take the scenario here, where Bitcoin is correcting a little bit, it's coming to a support, slowing down, slowly going back up, and you see alts gathering pace. You see Bitcoin was stuck here for a long time, it broke higher and then consolidated in this range. That is where when your alt pumped. Now you come here and look at this one. Bitcoin consolidated for a long time, and as Bitcoin was breaking to the upside with a little bit of momentum, alt started running higher. So this is really important. Now Bitcoin drop and Bitcoin dominance drop is different. I've seen a little bit of confusion with some of my members and general questions which I'm getting in YouTube and in my Patreon. So this is one of the reasons why we usually regularly post updates in the members. Now for the members, when they are looking at, you can compare with Bitcoin dominance to CACoin, XLM, XRP, you need a lot of understanding about what's happening in the market, because when the price goes down, people call bear market, people call bullshit, and it gets confusing. What you really need to understand is your opinion is your opinion, because your money is your money. When you make profit, no one else make profit, and when you lose, it's you who lose. So I don't want you guys to lose in that way. So I'm trying to give you the opinion what I do in my portfolio. I'm not moving out saying this is a bear market. Even if I'm wrong, I'm fine, but I don't really think that's the case. Look at these. You'll understand why I'm talking about this. You see a Bitcoin dominance drop here, followed by at the same time, you see the altcoins moving up, right? Then you see a consolidation there in the BTC dominance. That's when BTC is moving somewhat similar to that of altcoins. It's consolidating. That's dominance consolidating. And then you see the altcoins coming down. Then you see Bitcoin dominance dropping and altcoins pumping. So you look at this and you understand one thing. Whenever the BTC dominance drops, this is what you can anticipate. And this is what you had in the previous cycle. Not once. All the three wave structure formed in similar pattern. Now you come here and you're like, okay, fine, I'm getting this one right now, which is kind of the breakout and then wave one. Okay, fine. Now one itself was a bit big. Fine. What can you eye after that? A consolidation, and you're breaking to the downside. Now this chart I made a day back, 2 days back, so there would be update, and I'll go to the live chart and show you guys what is that same chart showing you right now. But look at this. When you break to the downside and move down, that is when usually the market move up for altcoins. So Bitcoin dominance when it go down, yes, that's mostly when you get a alt season, right? But when Bitcoin price tops out and go back down, that's kind of not the right scenario for altcoins to run up. So you look at this, Bitcoin topped off here, and then you moved higher, fine. But you don't actually enter a bear market there. You still got a little bit of pump here, right? So that kind of confusion should be avoided. Now, when you look at the XRP price, you have several steps to understand. Because when you say Bitcoin is going through $1 million, the possibilities of that is like they are connecting all the tops here and extending it towards this one and saying there is a possibility that Bitcoin is going to $1 million. Fine, I agree on the tops, but the problem is when you connect these bottoms and extend it, you kind of get a trend line. And in that trend line, these are the bottoms, it says support, and you broke below. Fine, you were supported by the moving average, you came back, you were resisted. So now that's a valid support resistance zone and it's extending. Fine, next time when you came back up, you got resisted there. So do I definitely think we are going to $1 million? No, unless we break about this range, which I think would be like 120, an extension would be like $140,000 Bitcoin. But still, $120,000 Bitcoin can be in the range. But from here, you don't have too much of an upside to reach that $120,000 Bitcoin unless your average is somewhere here or here where it's like, you get a decent ROI. Even if you bought Bitcoin at $10,000, and you're waiting till 120,000, you make a decent ROI, but not for those who are entering now. Now look at the time structure. We have discussed this many times, top to top, bottom to bottom, and you analyze something and you're like, okay, it's not even close to what it should be. It's just nearing towards what it has been in the last cycle. So if you put this into perspective, you see like, okay, we have another year or more in this cycle. So as we get extended, if you plot this one, you are literally going into 2023, which sounds crazy because right now we are in 2021. So at least the end of 2022 or even early 2023 is a possibility for this market cycle. Because when you take a step closer and look at this, you understand, okay, that's not a bear market, that's a consolidation and the possibility. You do have a possibility that you are getting a double top on a monthly, which is a bearish pattern, but unless you break this support, you are not getting a confirmation for that pattern. So now, yes, we'll go into the price, we'll go into the pattern and discuss this, because if you understand this clearly, that's important for you. Look at each time when XRP price come down and bounce. 48 days, followed by that 30 days, next one 20 days. Then SEC came, pour water on us and all those drama happened, and then 50 days and then 48 days. So most likely after this one, this bottom, you're going to see a run up in 40-50 days. But yes, there are certain assets which shows 15-20 days, right? Not every asset is going to do similar time frame. Some of them are going to run up faster than the others. So knowing this is important. Say people, when they say, okay, a dollar mark is really important. Yes, I agree. It's a psychological level. But if you're eyeing for $10, for example, from $1 to $10 is great. So when the price goes to 0.7, 0.8, it's even better, right? If you're buying. Now, yes, for those who come in and buy at that time, it's great. But for those like us who have already bought in and who are waiting like this, it's a little bit more time, patience, and psychological stress, pain. So that's why you need to understand what you are. If you are a trader, that's not for you. You try to buy bottom, sell top, which increases your level of risk. If you are an investor, you're not doing that. Why? Because say, for example, you're coming here, you're trying to do all this stuff, and you understand, like say here, especially when you see this, it really shows you that possibility where XRP was having a long wick here. That's like the March 2020 huge drop off in the market. And on a daily chart, you get the RSI coming all the way down here, getting oversold. Then you come here, that was in recent correction, right? We got oversold and we went back with a double bottom, Yes, we retested the bottom. That will be there, or the possibility for that one is still there. Then this time again you are coming into that range. So most likely, if the history has shown you that, chances are you're gonna go back up in the same fashion. So if that's the way, are you inside this market? And if you're really inside this market, you may not want to miss a lot of these updates, because a lot of these are really important, because understanding some stuff is really important. Now, if you have a lot of different assets, that's hard. I generally give XRP, BTC and all the general stuff for you guys here in the YouTube video, but most of the other stuff I regularly post it on my Patreon. So if you want to have a view on those, you can look at the link in the description that takes you to the Patreon. So guys, if you are enjoying this video, please hit that like and subscribe button. Now we'll actually discuss through these charts and give you the importance of why you should definitely understand what's happening in the market right now. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. I know that was a long intro, but don't worry, this video is not that long. I'm going to end it soon, but you need to understand this. In last video, when we talked about what the possibilities are, and we talked about when we were around 54k, we were saying there is a possibility we may drop, and the 50 range to 48 range can be the support, which you can see here. And this is on a weekly for Bitcoin, showing the moving average is down, so you may come back towards that moving average, because we were seeing that in MACD, right? Now that was December 4th. Then we dropped. Now I didn't really know we were gonna drop towards 45. The market is like that, it's unpredictable. But right now, if we go look at the market, it came back to $50,000. And where did it stop, or who supported the price? It's that weekly moving average. So that's one of the reason why I told major support comes in with that range. Now what does that mean? A lot of people believe that it's a good price to buy when it comes back to the 50-day moving average on a weekly. They don't consider it as overvalued. Rather, they consider like, okay, it's in fair value and it can get overvalued. So they are buying there. So if you think it's going to go into a bear market, let it break this one, then come back, retest and get rejected and go down. I agree that's a bear market, but not at this point. Yes, you started this cycle like $3,000. Right now you're $50,000, that's sky high, but it's not the top. You go through the charts and you learn through the charts, and you don't say that. If you believe it's a bear market, fine, it's completely up to you, because on a macro you're getting a double top possibility there. That is still there, but that double top only gets validated when you break through this range. Now that range is like $30,000. Now if we say, okay, I don't really want to wait through that, then your next level of support is here. You're going to literally wait to 40 to 43,000 at least to say, okay, there is a ton of bearishness coming in. So if you are breaking this particular level of 40 to 43,000 and going down, yes, fine. But before that, what should happen in the price? It should break the 50-day moving average. So don't go bearish. If you are becoming bearish, it's completely up to you. But do understand, it's not when Bitcoin go into a bear market where we, the alt guys, get a huge pump. It's when the BTC dominance drop, when the altcoins go up. This is an altcoin, not even the large cap, and you see the same. Now I've actually went through and showed my members that not only the same one asset, but a lot of different asset in combination with BTC dominance, with XRP, XLM, a lot of different assets shows similar story. So once you understand that there is possibility in this market, and even Bitcoin still has a little bit of upside, you won't doubt yourself, because when you go back to the market and look at last 24 hours and you see like, okay, BTT going 25%, Bitcoin SP 20%, and a lot of small coins gathering pace, you should actually go and ask, say what you think about that, right? So when you're looking at these kind of charts, you definitely want to know like, okay, fine, so if I'm to take a decision, is that going to be a bad one? because you definitely don't want to take a bad decision, because right now Bitcoin is showing you this. It's near support. It hasn't broken to the downside. If it bounces, that means you're going back higher. Now, I created this chart today morning and the price was like 48,000, 49,000. But right now, if you look at the price, it's 50,000. So you see buying momentum, buyers coming in and getting a lot more interest. So that's why when you look at all these charts, say you have an asset in your portfolio. We usually look at XRP, right? So for the time being, let's look at XLM. Let's go to XLM USD chart on Coin Paprika, and this is what you see. Fine. So if you are a bull in this asset or a bear in this asset, what would you be looking at? You definitely need a break to the downside from the long-term trend. Now, you can draw this in a couple of ways. If you closely follow the price, you can say it just broke below. That's not a good stuff. Great, fine. But if you give that space of standard deviation, you can say like, okay, we are breaking to the downside. It all depends on this particular candle. Because when you go back to XRP, you actually see similar stuff happening on a weekly with the SEC case. It came in, we broke below, we went up, grinded back into the range. Now, when people say, okay, there is something wrong with XRP's code, there is, bugs, there is a lot of stuff, they are releasing update, there is something wrong. It's not like that. You look at the iPhone. How many updates you had for your iOS? Is it because it's so bad? No, they are trying to improve your situation. Whenever there is something, when you're driving, you have barriers and you improvise, right? That's something same. When there is something new, new bugs and all, the developers are actively working on that. They're preparing something good for you and they're updating. Think about an aspect where you're getting a lot of new bugs and the developers are not active and you don't get the update. That's when you should be worried. Not when the developers are really active and they're giving you all the good stuff. Because here, even comparing XLM, this is its support and this is bouncing. While we were here, we talked about, yes, we do have a little bit of downside. We may go down, but we never thought it's going to be like this. But mostly, it would pump after the support. The test of the support, and we have tested that. So that is bullish. So again, guys, if you received value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button before you say it's a bear market. It's not a bear market. If you believe that's a bear market, it's completely up to you and your opinion, and I respect that. But with my money, my portfolio, I'm not moving saying we are entering into a bear market. So guys, that's it for today, and I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.